Okay, see, y'all see what I meant right there? Progress over progress over perfection, because this is definitely not how I thought I would be starting life according to Aaliyah. For starters, I didn't think I'd be doing a live video. I thought I'd just be uploading an already edited, finished version, like, with the already, like, message, like, like as the voiceover with, like, showing you guys pretty footage and videos and, you know, all this other stuff. But it's not working out like that. But you know what? It's okay, because, like I said, I've been learning about progress over perfection. Because previously I had it backwards, where I had perfection over progress. So I was trying to get things looking and being a certain way and trying to make it appear to be perfect, but there really is no perfect anything. Which is why I have to keep telling myself that to get through this, because otherwise I would be like, because this is not what I planned. So, let's see. So I had to get myself comfortable. So what was I at? Oh yeah, I was telling you about how I had to learn progress over perfection. Yeah, because I didn't want to be like a Normani. And then I started to actually went, and I went to the light. And what did I leave off at? I think I said something I said about being Normani. Oh yeah, I think I was telling you guys something about fear. Yes, the reason why I was trying to get things perfect for a long time, instead of, like, just putting something out like a live video like this, is because excuse me. The reason why was because, I know how critical people can be. Like, just any one misstep can leave you being canceled. And especially if you're in the LGBTQAI plus community, which I am. That's right. I have been holding back because out of fear of what people might say or what people would think about me. But for those who don't know, I am a mixed transgender woman. That's right. You know what that means? With that being said, this means that there are transphobic people out there who would rather see me dead than to see me up here talking to you guys on YouTube. I'm sorry to disappoint y'all, but I'm gonna do my thing anyway. But why? Why would they want something like that? Something so awful had happened to me, Aaliyah Divine Taylor. Well, let me tell you. Some of the things why people would rather see me in a less than favorable situation than being up here talking to you guys is because of certain things. One of them being, it's a sin. That's right. I'm saying it, that it's a sin. That's what they tell you. That's one reason why. Let me cut the TV off. Well, I said off. Let me cut it down low, because I find it distracting. Hmm? Not that. Sorry. Yeah. One thing that they tell you guys is, transgender. You should, you know, not good to have them around you guys, because why? We're a sin. They tell you guys that what's what I'm looking for. So I'm getting a bit too excited. I'm losing track of my thoughts. But one thing that they tell you guys is, like, they always refer to the Bible, like how marriage should be between a man and a woman. And here's what I have to say about that. Um, for starters, I don't always agree with the way that people have taught us about the Word of God. Like, the way I've went through my own spiritual journey and stuff like that, and started, trying God for myself and asking about Him, because I still believe in God. Like, I still, believe in Christianity, and, like, God and Jesus being the way, the truth, and the life. But things like I've learned is, like, I believe in God differently than people. Like, when they think of a Christian or a Baptist or someone who's Pentecostal, something like that. I do believe in Christianity, but I just believe in it differently. People always taught us, a certain way of, like, how marriage is between a man and a woman, and things of that nature. But it's like, one thing I always want to say about it is, how do we know that the way people taught us is correct? Because for starters, one thing I always thought of when I was younger was, even before I was came out of trans and was exploring and stuff like that, I always wondered, because how the Bible's like one of the oldest books ever in the world, is like the Bible, and how it was made way, way, way back in the day, BC, before Christ, on rocks and stones and stuff like that. Always wondered, how is it that it's made it from when they're writing it on rocks all the way up to here in 2024, and how people change things with time. How do we know that, for starters, people haven't went and changed and edited certain things in the Bible? Like, how some people will take a movie, for example, or a book, and rewrite it into a movie, and certain parts are gone, some parts are added in, and certain things are different and stuff like that. How do we know, for starters, that everything that's in the Bible currently is exactly an exact replica of what was in the Bible, in the beginning? How do we know that everything in there is correct? Is always I always wondered, even as a kid. And how do we even know if the way people are teaching us about certain things is correct? Because a lot of the things is I always wondered is, how do we know that someone hasn't inserted their own ideology into it? You don't have to agree with me. This is not oh my gosh, I feel so bad because I'm talking about something I feel like is a very big topic so quickly, but I feel like I gotta throw it out there. I'm not here to change anyone's ideology. I don't know. This is just how I think. This is life according to Aaliyah. This is what I think. You guys don't have to agree with me. This is what I always thought. So how do you know people haven't spun the Bible and put certain things in there that isn't right? And even regarding to the marriage was between a man and a woman, I always wondered, how do we base what is a man and what is a woman? Because all people tell it's your reproductive organs, whatever. But that's the one tricky thing about transgender people, because even though we're born with the opposite genitalia or whatever, once we do get certain things surgeries, stuff like that, then it's once we do get all that situated with the different genitalia or whatever, then it's are we women now? If a transgender woman actually goes through the full process of transitioning, so is she a woman now? Or same thing with a transgender man, if they go through the full process of transitioning, so does that make them a man? Is it based off your genitalia? Because if we can get that changed, then what exactly would be the problem between having that's it's almost gets you to think I feel so bad. But calm down. I'm getting a bit excited because I'm this is a big taboo thing to talk about, to me, to even question the Bible. But it's what are we basing what a man or woman is? Is it based off your genitalia? Is it based off your the hormones within you, your estrogen or testosterone? What are we basing it off of? The best I can say it is Katy Perry best described it in her song "What Makes a Woman" off her Smile album. What really does make a woman, or what does make a man? Is it the way he walks, the way they talk? Is it, I said, the genitalia? Is it the the mannerisms? What is it exactly that makes a man, and a woman? And then, as if there's transgender people, I said, who are doing whatever with their body, then it's what exactly? Where do we draw the line at, as this is a man or this is a woman? And that's what I always thought about when I do think about because the Bible doesn't say specifically, goes into deeper about what it is. And I always wondered what's the clarification for that? As well as how people will tell you being transgender is wrong, doing this is wrong, being gay is wrong, or blah, 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 blah. Well, it's I hear you, but it's a lot of people who say stuff like that, they're the same people who turn around and they'll really highlight don't be gay, don't be trans, lesbian, LGBTQ is wrong, da, 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 don't do it, ah. But then it's they're the same people who's okay with drug addictions and alcohol addictions, and people who are cheating on one another and stealing and lying and doing all this, like these other sins, like that aren't good either. And it's like, I never understood that. Like, how come you can accept, like, someone's like a drug dealer and, like, who's like, killed some people or whatever, and you're okay with them and what they're, well, not okay, but someone's like, you can accept that, but you really can't, like, accept, like, someone's gay or someone's trans or someone's like non-bi. Why is that easier to wrap your head around, like, or easier for you to accept that sin versus, like, you accepting someone, like, someone being gay or trans, whatever. And I said, even that, where would you put that, like, in regards to, like, it should be between a man and a woman? Because that's just because we think of man and woman being, like, between, like, our idea of a man and our idea of a woman. Who says that that's how it's like? Because even a relationship between, like, two men, one's clearly more feminine than the other, or one's clearly the masculine. So it's kind of like, I always wondered, like, does that count as, like, a man and a woman? Because technically it's like, she's one of them is like the girl, and same thing, like, a lesbian couple, one of them is like the guy. That's why they have, like, the dyke. And I'm so sorry, I feel like that's a derogatory term. I'm so sorry if I insulted someone. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I feel like I said that so wrong. But like, one is like in that lesbian, like, community, like in a lesbian relationship, how, like, one sec. Hello. Yes. Huh. I can't hear you, so I'm hanging up. Bye. Huh. Okay. Huh. What do you mean wishes? What, wait. You're not making sense. What wishes? I don't understand. What's going on? Okay. You think you're gonna die from a fever? Oh, okay. So you're saying, okay, so you're saying this is like underlying issue of something else being wrong. Have you told Kyle? Okay, so then what are your wishes? All right, and what else? All right, and what else? Okay. Okay, I'm sounding a little worried for you. Um, what else did you say? How come you didn't tell, Kyle? How come you didn't tell Kyle? So if you do pass away and I said he doesn't know, then what? Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad you called me because I want to know. I am concerned about your health, your safety. And I said, I'll be over there tomorrow, like I told you, to check up on you. But you definitely should let him know too, because Kyle loves you. Yeah, let him know. All right, love you. Bye. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Life from Lord to Leah. Literally, I had a call about a woman thinking she's about to die. Never a dull day. Never a dull day. Where was I even at with this? Okay, sorry. I tell you that being transgender is the same. That's so random. How, like, literally in the middle of me streaming this to you, I get a call about a woman who I know who thinks she's dying. She's having a fever, which is like an underlying issue of, like, a complication going on with post surgery, because she had surgery on like her neck. Hello? Okay, I'll call you right back. All right. Hello, Kyle. Where are you? Kyle, it's not like I'm gonna go chase you down. Call your mom. She's trying to tell you something important. Kyle, I'm gonna leave it alone. He's grown. His mother is grown. It has nothing to do with me. I'm overstepping. He don't want to listen that his mom could possibly be dead on him. She was literally calling me, letting me know that she is having problems after her surgery, and her son is acting like he does not care. That's cold. And that's coming from an ice queen like me. Oh, never a dull day. Never a dull day. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Back to what I was saying. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I always wondered about is like the whole sin thing. But not even that. People will also tell you the reason why, they don't want to see us because, like, we're over sexualized beings. Like, we were always like, I feel like I don't understand because we're not really more over sexualized than anyone else. Like, people say like, like the way I can best say is like, how there's male prostitutes and female prostitutes. There's also like, LGBTQ prostitutes, like gay prostitutes, trans prostitutes. I don't understand why people put like, such an emphasis or like try to like, over sexualize us when a lot of times like we're not more over sexualized than anybody else. Like, for example, when I work at my job, so he said I'm trans, like use me as an example. When I was at one of my old jobs, and like I was just there, just being trans, just doing my job because that's what I'm there to do. Excuse me. People would try to like, like try to be weird around me, but it's like you could tell like they just felt weird because I was just me being trans. But it's like, why is there such a big emphasis if, like I said, if I'm doing the same thing you're doing? Why do you make it such a big deal when it's not? Like when I'm taking an order or when I'm helping someone out or taking someone's money or whatever. I'm doing the same thing you're doing. The customers don't care. I don't care. Why do you care? Why is it such a big deal for you that I'm trans? Because you're the one who's over sexualizing it, not me. You're the one who has making up all these dirty thoughts about me. I'm not thinking about you, nor am I like over here like, oh my gosh, come get at me, Mr. Man, and just strip me down and do naughty things to like I'm not doing all that. I don't understand people like, try to spin the narrative of like, oh, we're over sexualized beings like us and like drag queens and stuff like that. Like, girl, have you ever been to a drag show? Have you not seen Sugar and Spice? They're not over sexualized. Have you ever seen oh shoot, I forgot the names. They just flew right out of my head. Sugar and Spice. The only reason I know those because I literally used to watch them even before they became Sugar and Spice. And I love them. But have you ever seen like a drag show? They're not over sexualized. I mean, some of them can be, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, a lot of them aren't. A lot of them are family friendly. And I don't get why, like they even say something like we're over sexualized, or another reason they say is we're not good for children. How are we not good for children? Like, like two people like where like, they see like a transgender person, like their child's gonna become trans, or if they see gay people kissing, oh, they're gonna become gay, or oh, it's just, they're wanting our children, they're trying to, get the kids, and they act like we're over here like, ooh, little boy, I'm going to get to your goodies. Like, that's not at all what's going on here. Stop trying to make it seem like we're over here, like, just preying on children. Like, that's not what's going on. For starters, a lot of us, when we were children, we were also, fondled with, not all of us, like, not everyone in the LGBTQ community was, but a lot of us were fondled with as children. And a lot of times it wasn't by, the gay teacher or I don't know, the lesbian, neighbor down the street. It was actually people who were, supposed to protect us and keep us safe that were in the family. It was like people like the mom or the father or the brother or the sister or the uncle or the aunt or, people who you should be able to trust your kids with, but honestly, it's not. I still don't understand when people act like, oh, like, if they see two gay, guys kissing, like it's gonna just make their son gay. That's not how it works, honey. That's why people try to blame their environment, oh well, it's just because there's gay people everywhere. Girl, just like how two straight parents can raise a gay child, two gay parents can raise a straight child. I don't understand where people are trying to paint that narrative of oh, if they see that enough, they'll just think it's normal. Yeah, they'll think it's normal, but that doesn't mean they're gonna just start doing it. Heck, they act like it's a choice. Being gay isn't a choice. That you can't just wake up one day and just be like, I want to suck a dick. And even if they do, not children, not children. Sorry, not children. I'm sorry to talk about more like adults. Sorry, I didn't make that very clear. That little transition. But yeah, that's what some people as adults do is or even kids their age because I said even kids like teens. Heck, sometimes even preteens, people in middle school, experiment, and especially in college, you know, people experiment. Some people aren't even gay. Some people aren't lesbian. Some of them aren't trans. It doesn't matter, if they hang around trans people all day, they're not gonna be trans. Because if that's the case, I said I wouldn't be this way. I hung around, literally, all my friends were straight. Like, you could ask anyone, everyone I ever hung out with. Hold on one second. Hello? Yes? You're not making sense again because you are like Kyle. You both don't actually tell me fully what the hell is going on. So you're saying that you sent him some money for the metro, and did he come? So then why would you send it? But that's what I'm saying. So did he tell you earlier in the day, or you're not making that clear? How? And you sent it to Kyle, the boy who's awful with money. So what's the point of this conversation? Okay. 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 I don't know what you want me to say. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say, Miss Cran? Why would you send Kyle money? Even then, why would you send him money? Okay, well, that was the number one mistake is giving your son money when you know he's awful with money. So I'm gonna just start with that. Second of all, you know your son has to be back in San Diego and at 8 p.m., right? So how is he gonna be over there in Norwalk and somehow get back in time? Did you know that, or are you just agreeing with me? Did you know? Did you know that, or are you just agreeing with me? I'm not gonna call him because you're foolish for even doing that. I just don't understand, why are you sending him money? No, he didn't trick you. You just wanted to give it to him. Why? So then talk to him about what then, since you gave it to him. Then what do you want me to say? That's like I keep asking you. What do you want me to say? Why did you give him money? No, he didn't. Okay. Okay. Yeah, after I help her box up her stuff, I'm definitely gonna leave her alone because I definitely gotta cut that off. I'm wishing her well, but she's foolish for that, knowing dang well she can't trust her own son. Knowing dang well. Knowing her son's a liar. Knowing her son's off with money. And you're still gonna give him money? You're still gonna trust him. Even though you know he lies. Even though like you know he's off with money. What? Okay? Yeah, after I help her out with her little situation, her moving situation, I'm most likely gonna cut that. Cause she, yeah. Anyways, making me lose my train of thought. Yeah, that's another thing is people act like for some reason like somehow we can convert people or convert people to being gay or whatever. We can't do that. Like for example, if you're with a man and he goes gay or bisexual or whatever, honey, that was already in him before I got there. There was a problem that was already there before I got there. And once I'm out of the picture, whether because sometimes like they'll blame it on us, and I said we'll get out of the picture, then it's like, then what? Who you gonna blame then? And he still wants, like wants the D, or just wants to be with transgender people. What are you gonna do then? The truth of the matter is, if someone is just gay or they're bi or they're trans, or whatever, let them be it. And no one can convert anybody. No one can make someone who's straight gay. Someone can't make someone who's gay straight. It's not like a convergent that you can't teach, like teach people about teach people about what they like and what they don't like. As I tell them, someone who never liked pickles, all of a sudden you're gonna like pickles. No, if they don't like pickles now, they ain't never gonna like it in the future. It's not one of those things you can just choose one day, like it's just flip flops. You can't just choose a sexuality. I'm straight today. I'm gay the next day. Matter of fact, now I'm bisexual. The problem isn't us. We're not the ones who's actually the problem in regards to your children. We're not the ones you should be fearing your children being around. Because a lot of us know what it's like to have your childhood or your innocence robbed from you. So we're not going to continue that cycle onto someone else, especially people who don't deserve it, a child who doesn't deserve it. Or we're not going to try to convert a guy who is like, straight. Like, what? That don't even make sense. How what's the process you would do to convert someone who is straight to gay or straight to whatever the hell, liking trans? What's the process? Like, I never understood people like, like, I converted a straight guy. It's like, honey, if he got converted, he was already, if you know what I mean. But that don't even make sense. Like I said, we're a bad influence on kids. We're not any worse than drug dealers and everyone else who, pollutes your children with all these bad things, with racism, homophobic, sexist ideas. Okay, there's a lot more things you should be worried about your children, being than gay or lesbian or trans and non-binary. Should just worry about your children being alive, the way people are shooting up schools or suicide rates, because like nowadays, like a lot of kids are coming out, but the thing is, like, a lot of kids don't feel safe to do it because it's like there's such a stigma surrounding, being a part of the LGBTQ community. It's like people are just trying to erase and delete us from like the history books or from these jobs. So they don't want us, around their kids or around their men. It's like, honey, it's not going to change the problem if a child, like I said earlier, if a child is what they are, it doesn't matter whether or not the gay teacher is there or not. The only person you're going to be affecting is that child. See, if they are like closeted gay or something like that, you're going to make it harder for them to even be themselves around you. Like a lot of times what ends up happening, because a child doesn't feel safe, is they ended up leaving, like running away to go somewhere where they feel more accepted, starting over, having a new family. Or if not that, some of them, like I said, kill themselves. Like, I literally was almost like, like a, that's not funny to say, but I was almost like a Hannah Baker, or the 13 Reasons Why. Like, hey there, I'm Hannah Baker, and this is how this is my 13 reasons why. Like, I'm laughing at it, but that's not really a very funny topic. It's kind of like one of the ways I guess I cope with some messed up things like that. But yeah, that's what I definitely want to put out there. One of the last things you should be worried about is us being around kids or us being around your men. Girl, worry about your child just being alive, being healthy, being happy. Things that actually matter. Them actually getting educated at the school versus getting shot up, versus them having, oh my God, I almost said catching suicide. Them offing themselves, or them getting I don't think I can say it on YouTube, but getting assaulted by someone in the who's close to them, or actually catching a sexually transmitted disease. Like, there's so many worse things to worry about than your child literally being gay or part of the LGBT community. Shoot, worry about your child committing suicide if they are a closeted gay. And a lot of times, I said, parents or people around them will make them feel bad and not want to come out, so they don't ever feel safe to just come out and be themselves, because like I said, there's this religion teaching that it's a sin and that they're going to burn in hell or whatever, and they're not going to have a good life because they're gay. And then they just end up killing themselves, because it's like a lot of the community feels like it's better to be dead than to be ourselves, because that's what the world teaches us sometimes, is it's better to be dead than to be trans or to be gay. And that's what a lot of us think, well, at least when we're first starting. This is all those conflicting feelings of, am I doing the right thing? Am I making the right choice? What's the effects it's going to have on me? And just someone you just go through a whole spiral of you're just reconsidering your entire life. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why people, I feel like, don't want the LGBTQAI plus community around them. Because they make it seem like it's we're the problem. We're the problem for your broken homes, or your messed up marriage, or the reason why you're insecure, or the reason why there's climate change or inflation, or it's all because of the trans, or it's all because of the LGBTQ community. Like, baby, we ain't got that much power. We're not the reason why the war is going on. We're not the reason why the national debt is so high, why people are having problems just buying food and maintaining their normal lives on top of trying to, do other things. Stop trying to broke up. Y'all broke up because y'all don't make each other happy. Or there's trust issues, or there's some other problem that has nothing to do with the outside parties. Excuse me. It's like if someone runs out and cheats on this person who they're in a connection with. Are you getting mad at the person who you actually who's supposed to be faithful to you, or are you gonna be upset about an outsider who's just caught in the entanglement? Who are you gonna be upset at? You should. A lot of times I said people get mad at the third party, but you should really get mad at the person who fell for them. There's always gonna be temptation. There's always that angel and devil on your shoulders, but it's that person who has the choice, who where you choose what you are going to do, how you're going to react. That temptation is always going to be there, and it doesn't matter. I said if someone's gay, bi, trans, whatever, that's not going to save the relationship. That's not going to save the marriage. That's not going to save your family. If there's no love there, then there's no love there. If you guys don't make each other happy, you guys don't make each other happy. If there's no trust, there's no trust. It doesn't matter what is happening on the outside if you have problems on the inside. So really handle that. Shoot. You got insecurities. Okay, well, why is it that, someone being transgender and being around you, it just bothers you? About, I think, they're gonna kiss me or whatever. They're gonna, try to do something to me. I think you want us to, because we definitely weren't thinking that, like going at a grocery store, just let me be like, let me just stop and just, try to kiss this random stranger. Like, that's not what's going in our minds. Or, ooh, I'm at the bank, let me just strip down naked in front of this guy. Like, no, I'm going to deposit my check and get the hell out. Like, why do you think it's almost like I was saying earlier. Why are y'all over sexualizing us? We're just here to kind of do normal everyday things like everybody else and get the hell out, or get the hell on with our days. We're not here just causing mischief and trouble everywhere. We're not here just being like these sex symbols everywhere. People just for some reason put us in that category. Y'all over sexualize us. Y'all put us there. We are not the problem. In circumstances like that, we're not the problem. Now, y'all can say that y'all just don't like us. I can honestly respect it a lot more. Someone just be like, I just don't like you. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to like transgenders. Like, you don't have to like Satanists, or you don't have to like Christians or whatever. Everyone has their own opinions and beliefs or whatever, and people are allowed to feel however they want to feel. I can't make someone like me. That's why you don't like me. I say, it is what it is. I don't understand why you wouldn't, other than, like I said, you have your own preconceived notion about me. You don't know anything about me. You don't know my middle name. You don't know what I do, but you just don't like me. Okay, well, hey, that's just your opinion. Just because you feel that way doesn't make it like a fact that, once again, some people will tell me I'm a bad person, I'm going to hell, and, you're a homewrecker, you're this, you're a slut, I'm like, what's my middle name? What did I eat last Tuesday? Like, so much about me. Like, clearly you must also know all this other stuff about me too. Like, I was out here sleeping with that person. Of course I'm being I'm joking around. This is just like the people who don't know me. This is what they say. Like, I'm all these things. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm going to hell. And I was like, man, if you know all this stuff, then how come you can't save your own marriage? How come you can't save your own relationship? How come you can't make your own money? How come since you're so good at analyzing stuff? I'm throwing so much shade. I'm sorry. This is not what I want the first episode to be about. But this is just stuff that I really wanted to just get off my chest, and I also just get all the serious stuff off first. Because I don't know, it's just scary things that I've always been like so afraid to talk about. Because it's like, oh my gosh, like in the state of the world it is today. I know that a lot of transgender people are like public enemy number one. Because like I said, there's a lot of things out there trying to remove LGBTQ from the educational system, and trying to pretty much paint us out to be like I said, get rid of us from the drag shows and stop our transitions and stuff like that, and keep us from getting like insurance that supports stuff. It's like, why are y'all already coming for a minority that is not affecting? Like I said, it's like I just said recently, it's not gonna change anything. It's not gonna make your child any more straight or any more gay. It's not gonna stop your man from wanting what he wants or your woman from wanting what she wants. It's not gonna stop anything. I don't understand, why are you attacking a minority that already knows, like, in a socio-economical perspective, they're already at the bottom. They're not straight. And I said, if they're like, colored like me, they're, got some melanin up in me. If they know that, then they already know. I said, it's like another step down, like the socio-economical ladder. At the very top is to be a white male, a white straight male. Then like maybe a white straight female, and that's it. Just goes down and down and further down the road. It's like you already know, like on a socio-economical stance, we're at the bottom. We're at the bottom. You know it. We know it, and that's understanding. Like people like almost got out of the way to kind of like try to like paint us as the bad guy or knock us while we're down, or just try to poke at us. Because it's like, why? You already know, like on a socio-economical letter, a socio-economical standpoint, you're already higher than us. Why don't just leave us alone? Like, it's almost like why are you bullying us? But it's not about like a socio-economical thing. While going through my own transition, and I said talking to God and stuff like that, I'm learning that's more just about misery loves company. If someone isn't happy with their own life, they're naturally going to come after someone who is happy, because they're over there happy and shining and enjoying themselves, just being themselves. And they see that and they wonder, why can't I be that? Why can't I be happy in my own life? Why are you so happy and I'm miserable? You know what? Let me attack that happiness so that you can be miserable like me. That's that darkness attacking the light. That's what happiness is. Happiness is like a light. That's why people I said, who are miserable or sad or whatever, they're always together. That's why stars shine in the dark. They're the light in the dark. They shine brighter at night. You can't see a star shining in the morning when the sun's out. They shine in the dark. Yes. Okay. Okay. What do you want me to say? Okay. Let me. Yeah. Can I say something to you? You know that you shouldn't have gave your son the money, because if someone shows you who they are the first time, if your son showed you he's off with money and you can't trust him, it's like I told you, you gave him money last month. What did he do? What did he do with it? He bought a skateboard that he didn't need. So then why would you give him more money? And like I said earlier, what do you want me to? What's the point of this conversation? Yeah, because I don't know what to say to you. Because I already said it a billion times what you need to do, and you're not listening. So what do you want me to say? Yeah, because I'm at the point where I don't care anymore. Yes, he does. All right. Well, I wish you the best. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Love you too. Bye bye. Stars shine brightest in the dark. They do. They do. Mm, what a dark world we live in. Thank God there's a plenty of stars to light it up. But yeah, the only reason why I've been so scared to start this is because I said I am doing stuff that's a bit talking about stuff that's a bit more controversial. With tarot, it's like I'm sending messages to help people, like about the situation. But with this, it's like this is a bit more personal. This is more something we could all debate about or talk about. So one thing I want to do is I want to make this platform like an open conversation type of thing where I could talk to people and people can talk back to me. Like it's an open conversation, and we don't all have to be like like a cult. Like you must think like me, you must act like me, think like me, think like me, think like me. Like that's not what this is. I want the channel to be kind of a thing where we can all agree to disagree, but I want us to be like kind of like a safe space where we can all express or voice our opinions or our ideas or just the way we're thinking. Sometimes people need a vent. And that's how I want this channel to be. That's what Life According to Lee is. It's really just me talking to you guys about my life and sometimes about what I think. In this case, it's what I've been holding back on, like serious topics like this. And I just really getting started because I haven't really gotten into the rest of it. Because I just really want to make sure I get this part very clear. Because it's like, this is some of the stuff that people really do, or some things that people tell you about it. So the narratives they stare up is like, we're not, like it's a sin. We're over sexualized. We're not good for children. We're a bad influence. We convert people. I said, why don't y'all be I said, why don't y'all just be honest about, your delicate femininity, your delicate masculinity. We are not the problem. If you feel like we can convert y'all, honey, you were never secure within your own skin to begin with. Especially if we're not even trying. We're just literally like, just sitting there, minding our business. Sorry, my legs is giving out. Ooh, this is the anything but perfect first episode of Life According to Aaliyah. Anything but perfect. Yeah, the only reason why I even wrote out the stuff because I really wanted to be perfect, but you know, that's just that was just my fear talking. I wanted things to be a certain way, look a certain way, because I know how shallow people can be. That's what I had to learn the tough way. Is people can be very shallow, critical, and judgmental. Like people, for some reason, already come out just by looking at you. Like I told you, don't even know anything about you. Will come up with these random narratives, these false, ill-informed narratives about you to almost just come up with all these lies to pretty much help themselves feel better about hating someone who has done nothing to them. Like I've heard people tell me create all these random narratives about me, all these that's just random stigmas about me. Let's give you a few examples. Since I'm beautiful, I must be a slut. I get around. I'm easy. Or since I'm pretty, I must be dumb. Or since I'm a tarot reader, I must be a Satan worshiper. Or since I'm trans, I must have no morals and I'm evil. Or since I'm gorgeous, I've always had things handed to me. These are the stuff people tell me, they thought that the people have told me, or they thought this about me or whatever. And it's like that could not be more further from the truth. You see, back in 2019, when I first came to California, I will admit I got around, but the only reason why is because I did not love myself. As I said, I was still trying to figure out who I was. So I never actually explored my sexuality and got to figure out who I am as a person because I was always working to help pay my mom's bills and help support my family and take care of people. And I was going to college and planning birthday parties and donating to homeless and volunteering with the youth and the children, and as well as with the elderly, like, people in retirement homes. And I was doing so much and giving so much of myself to everywhere else that I never actually got to sit down and focus on myself. I never got to give myself that love that I was giving to everyone else. So I came to California, I did get around. And it was only because I didn't love myself. I was looking for love outside of myself. And like a foolish young adult, I failed miserably. Okay, I failed. And that's when I started my journey back in 2019. No, yeah, around 2019, 2020 is when I really started, like, sorry, really started, like, going on my self love journey. That's when I actually started to figure out, like, who I am. At first, I said giving myself that love I needed, focusing on giving me that R and R, something that I never really got. The time to just sit down, rest, reflect, and think about what it is that I wanted to do or what I wanted to create for myself. And let's see, yeah. After I came out to my family in 2021 as trans, I ran back to the place where I felt most safe, California. And while I was there, that's when my sister kicked me out of her place. Yep, she kicked me out of her apartment. But what she did not know was that I bought my first deck. It was my Angel Power Wisdom card. It's the one that's purple with little angels on it. Yeah, I bought that deck first, and this is where the notes end. So here's where I just kind of, free verse it. That was like, I wrote like little notes here and there about, like, little reminders of what to say. Here's where I just go off script. Okay. Like I said, I bought my Angel Power Wisdom cards, and I ended up, like, pulling a card. My very first card, I was like, oh my god, this is crazy, because I bought an Oracle deck, and this is like taboo, and oh my gosh. But I had wanted to try God for myself. I wanted to get to know God for myself, and God was actually leading me towards, like, doing this. I bought a deck, and I ended up, like, pulling a card out in 2021, like the middle of 2021, and the card I got pretty much told me that I was going to be all right. There's nothing to fear, and just, be, ready for what's to come, pretty much. Like, I'm going to be all right. Excuse me. So the next day my sister kicked me out, I was fine. Like, I wasn't, like, scared of what was to come, because I knew somehow, some way I was going to be all right. Okay. Now, what she didn't know, what everyone didn't know was, let's see. What my everyone didn't know about me was around 2020. So I'm gonna back it up a year. 2021 is when she kicked me out. But back in 2020 was when I actually began my spiritual journey, because that's when God just started, like, talking to me more, because I was really starting to just wonder about, like, things besides money, besides working, besides, like I said, if I get a degree, what's even the point of the degree if I'm working a job? And I said, it's making me this money, but it's like, what's the point? I could easily go to college right now and get a degree. I can do it right now. It's not that hard. I'm very smart. I'm well educated. But it's almost like, what's the point of all this? Sorry. What's the point of all this? What's the point of all of this working hard to get a job, to get money, to have a home, to just be there, and then do what? And then just wait to die? That's when I started asking God more, and just trying to understand life more, because I just wanted, I don't know, I just knew there was more to this world than just working, getting paid, paying the bills, and then just going to sleep, and doing stuff in between, like, friends and family. But it's like, what else is there? I didn't really understand what was the point of all things. So I literally tried God. I just wanted to know. I wanted to know more about spirituality. I wanted to have that connection with God. 'Cause even before I started my spiritual journey, I never knew God for myself. I never talked to him. I never prayed to him. I do it all the time now. I literally wake up and thank God for waking me up this morning. I literally talk to him about, like, people. I talk to him about, my family, about my past lovers, about friends, because that's like, God always listens. God always helps me out. The only reason why I started, even got spiritual, is because there was just a whole bunch of signs that God was giving me when I was asking him these questions and trying to figure stuff out. He was giving me all these signs about what I need to do, and showing me all these things, and just really giving me enlightenment around this time. And then also around this time is when I experienced my very first spiritual attack. Yes, in real life, I had someone send me a spiritual attack. Yeah. Let's see. Did I say that right? Because I'm trying to look at this. I wrote like a lot of stuff, like 6 pages worth of stuff, but like I was trying to write down notes earlier, but I ended up like, running out of time, and I just wanted to put something out there for you guys. So I'm looking back at my notes. It says, yeah. Literally one night when I was like back in Oklahoma, I was in my brother's place, and then like I literally was like getting something from the kitchen or whatever, and there was like a dark spirit that was chasing after me. I ended up like running into um the room I was like in before, like, I went out to grab some food, and I was like asking myself, like, what the hell was that? What was that thing, that dark figure thing, whatever, that was literally chasing me? I was like, oh no, that's not normal. I said, I said, this whole spirituality thing, like, I was still trying to get used to, but that's not normal. So that's why I started looking into, okay, dark spirits, whatever, and blah, 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 blah. And I started researching, like, a little bit about it, because I didn't know about this stuff. I didn't know there was spiritual warfare, but I learned after that day that there was. And like I said, I started to inform myself, because knowledge is power. Because even the Bible says, my people lack because of my people perish because of the lack of knowledge. So I started educating myself. Okay, what the heck is this stuff going on? So I know I'm starting into this spirituality stuff. I can tell that I'm now a part of spiritual warfare, but what the hell was that dark thing? And then I ended up researching that pretty much that was a dark entity. That was a spiritual attack. Yeah, and that's why God was increasing my knowledge. That's why God was trying to, like, inform me more about this, because it's like people were pretty much sending spiritual attacks at me. People were, casting these like death spells on me. Like, that's what really got me, was I didn't know that people were like sending like all this negative energy at me. The only reason I even learned is because I got into it. I started learning more about it. Okay. And that's because I said God was leading me towards it. Because I said it's like He was trying to prepare me for what was to come. Because God knows everything. God sees everything. And God knew that all this stuff was coming at me. He was trying to get me ready. Yeah, a lot of people think for some reason, like, when I started my spiritual journey, like, it was just fun. I was just having a good time. And like, this is just something fun and easy and like quirky and edgy that I got into. Because a lot of people like have wondered, like, what got me into spirituality, what got me into doing tarot and stuff like this. I had to get into tarot because pretty much with all these, like, death spells people were casting on me, or money spells, and less people were casting a lot of negative energy towards me. I had to do it to defend myself, okay? Because my options was either pretty much lay there and, die, or be unalived, or protect myself. Get into spirituality, protect myself from these people who are sending me these bad energies. And that's what I did. Yeah. I ended up figuring, like I said, all this stuff out. I said, spiritual attack was in 2020. I didn't figure out that people were actually casting death spells on me. I knew it was a dark entity. I knew it was a spiritual attack, but I didn't know people were casting death spells on me until I went back to California. I was there, and it was like 2021. Yeah. Because I was homeless because my sister kicked me out. And I started, like, having to pretty much rely on just God. And that's when I was learning that people were putting death magic on me. So I had to literally learn it to defend myself, because pretty much if I did not do it, I wouldn't be alive here in front of you today. That's why I started getting into crystals and tarot and spirituality and talking to God more, because it was literally a means to defend myself from people who were attacking me. I didn't do it because it was fun. It was edgy. It was so cool. And like, it's trending. Everyone's doing it. Like, no, I was doing this because I had to defend myself. I had to protect my own life. My safety was at risk. And I didn't even know it until I said the dark spirits were literally coming at me. And I know some of you might wonder, like, how do you were attacked by dark spirits? I looked into it, and I'm not the only person who actually like speaks about like stuff like this happening to them. Like a few examples that I found, the actual celebrities who could like relate, but they're not here, was like Tupac, Biggie Smalls, Lisa Left Eye, and Aaliyah. Before all of them died, some of them mentioned something about death was following them, or death is at their door, or they're having dreams about, like Aaliyah had dreams about herself, like like being free, and not having the weight of the world around them, and like almost being in a place where no one can touch her. She was literally like said seeing all these stuff about her dreams, or like Lisa Left Eye, like I think it was Biggie who said death is following me. Like they literally, or Lisa Left Eye said, I felt like a dark entity was following her, a dark spirit was following her right before all of them died. And like I said, even Tupac had little like like ominous or mysterious things about um like that's why he made a whole album like about like if he did die, or if this thing like if I was to leave the world. And then like literally before he did, he left the like he was unalived, he was gone. It was something similar to that effect, where I felt like something was on me, something was following me. I didn't know where it was coming from, because it was almost like a dark cloud. Like I don't know, it's hard to explain something that's not like tangible, like a phone. You see a phone, you can touch a phone. It's hard to explain like a spirit. But the best I can say is like almost like a dark cloud was hanging over me, and I didn't know where it was coming from, because I never had that feeling before in my life. I never had it. Like it was something that it's hard to explain. It almost felt like something heavy, something dark, something scary is around me, or it's following me, or whatever. And it's like I don't understand why. Because it's like I always helped out people. I said I was volunteering. Prior to all this, I was volunteering at like home, not homeless shelters. I was donating to homeless. I was volunteering at the elderly, like retirement homes, and also at like the youth center with elementary kids. I was like, helping people with their birthdays. I was even like, at California in 2020 when the spiritual tax. No, last 2020 I was back in Oklahoma. Yeah, I was back in Oklahoma. In 2019 I was in California. I went back to Oklahoma in 2020, and I ended up going back over to California in 2020, 2021. I want to say, yeah, 2019 I was there. I went back to Oklahoma around 2020. I think it was the end of it. That's what it was. It was kind of the end of 2020. Yeah, that makes sense. And then I wound up going back to Oklahoma. No, I was in Oklahoma from 2020, the end of 2020 to the beginning of 2021. And in the middle of 2021 is when I went back to California. Yeah, that makes sense. That's how it was. That's the timeline. Sorry, it was a few years back, so I'm trying to recall, because I don't want to get my facts mixed up. But yeah, around 2020 is when I started researching this stuff, because I wanted to be informed, because I wanted to know what the hell was going on in my life. And like I said, just people were sending this dark energy at me, hoping to off me. Because, I guess they felt some type of way about me being here. Because I'm pretty and smart and a wonderful person. And then one thing about it is be careful what you send out, because it's going to come back to you. So if you're sending people a bunch of negative vibes and a bad like energy and juju, that will come back to you tenfold. Those are called tower moments in tarot. When something wasn't built on a steady foundation, so it's bound to come crumbling down, that's a tower moment. That's karma coming to bite you. Anyways. Oh, yes. So back to my little script that I got here. Because I said I had notes, but now it's just like I'm just going off the pages, the huge 6 long pages, but I'm trying to just skim it real quick. It says, yeah, there was love spells, death spells, money spells. There's a lot of spells being thrown at me. And the reason why I always hesitate to the reason why I always hesitate to tell people about this stuff is because like before I got woke, before I got spiritually, in tune and actually got connected with God, and had all this stuff happening, I thought this was all mumbo jumbo. That's why I don't ever blame people when they don't believe me, because it's like unless you go through the spiritual awakening yourself and actually have stuff like this happen to you, it sounds completely legitimately crazy. Like from a logical standpoint, it's like you want me to believe that someone's casting spells on you, like Harry Potter. But I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Spirit world does exist. There's as well as, hell exists. Spirit world, hell, or the underworld. Spirit world, underworld, heaven, hell. These things exist. As well as people actually, doing stuff like actually casting spells on people. That's a real thing that I said, I don't blame you for not believing me, because like from a logical point, it does sound crazy. But it is true. You gotta believe me. I'm not here to convince you. Like, if you believe me, you believe me. But if you don't, then you don't. I'm not here to change your ideology. Like I told you earlier, I'm not here to change what you think. I'm not here to convert you into believing what I believe. Okay? Yeah, when it comes to that, I just say let's agree to disagree. Now, one thing I will talk about though is, why do people automatically assume just because, I tell them like, many people always assume like, I'm a devil worshiper, or like I'm always doing bad things because I know tarot and I'm into spirituality and I know about certain things. It's like, why do y'all think I'm always like a devil worshiper, or I'm going to hell? I'm a worker of Satan. But oh, if I was a white girl named Sabrina with a black cat named Salem, it would be completely normal. And not only that, but I would also have a hit TV show. I said, life is so unfair. Which leads me to my next point, being homeless. One thing I didn't know about is people perceived. Ooh. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I was supposed to fill that in. I told myself I was going to actually put in my actual thought of what I was supposed to write down, because I ended up sawing that I forgot a word or two. But I never filled it in because I said I'll do it later, and I never did. This is one thing I didn't know was people. Okay, people are going to be perceiving you all while people were perceiving me all types of ways, like I was bougie, or like I was like, the stuck up person, like I was mean, all while I was living in these shelters. Like, I'm just like this bougie girl. I'm like, I'm not sure if it was because maybe I had nice things. So I always wore nice clothes, always had like nice stuff, like my equipment, like the ring lights and stuff. People won't automatically think like, oh, I'm bougie, or I'm this, or I'm that, because they have these preconceived notions about me. But mainly because like a lot of people saw me as like a threat. That's the bottom line of all this. Is people usually, I said, spun up these false stereotypes or whatever, because like they usually perceive me to be a threat in one way or another. Plus, I triggered a lot of people, like a lot of people in their insecurities. Everywhere I went, people asked me, like, when I was at the shelters, like when I was homeless, everywhere I went, people would always ask me, hey, do you work at the shelter? Like, do you work? Are you a worker up there? Like, do you actually like help out the homeless? I was like, excuse me. Because I guess I didn't look homeless. I don't know how homeless were supposed to look, but they definitely didn't think I was homeless. They always asked me, like, I always thought like I was a worker there. I always had to like remind them, like, no, I don't work here. I'm actually a resident. And to their surprise, they'd be like, oh, I didn't think you. I thought you worked here this whole time. I said, I get that a lot. And not only that, but a lot of the menses were always like naturally attracted to me, even when I was homeless. I said, it didn't matter. It never mattered. They were always attracted to me. At the time, like, I didn't understand it though, because little did I know, I wasn't perceiving myself correctly. Like I said, people were perceiving me to be like this bougie, like stuck uptight, bougie, like, B word. But I was like over here, like not perceiving myself the same way they were perceiving me. A lot of people thought I was stuck up, or a lot of men found me attractive, but I thought the way I saw myself at the time, back in like 2021 when I was first homeless, I always thought of myself like as the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Because of my scoliosis, I still have it, but it's like God has been healing me, and I feel so much better. And I said, I want to give God, His thanks. Thank you, God, for blessing me. Thank you for helping healing my scoliosis. I thought I can breathe better. I can feel certain parts of my body again. Like half of my face I couldn't feel, and I didn't know it until like I actually regained feeling, to the point where I realized, oh, part of me was numb, or like part of my legs was numb. I didn't realize that. Like I literally can feel certain parts of my body. But anyways, yeah, I thought I was like, the way I saw myself was, I'm like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. But I learned through being homeless that that's not an accurate perception of myself. I'm overthinking like I'm the Hunchback, but really I'm like the gypsy girl off of that movie. I'm like Esmeralda, the sexy, mysterious gypsy girl. That's how everyone was seeing me. I was like, oh, that's how you all see me? They're like, yeah, like you're really gorgeous. I'm like, thank you. But I always like had to be reminded, because like I said, it's like, like if anyone who like like going through like when you were like a kid and you like exes, but like some of us weren't very attractive, so we had to like had like the ugly duckling phase, and then we grow up to be like it's like going from like a caterpillar to a butterfly, but it took like years to get there. That's what it was like for me back then. I was like the person who like everyone like ignored and like never paid attention to, and like would always like never paid attention to, and like always like like calling me like ugly, or I never got anyone's like to pay attention to me. Like I was always like like the ugly duckling everywhere. I was always misunderstood. I was always the outcast. Like even at home, I was the black sheep. With my friends, unless I like created like a situation like a birthday party or whatever, no one was like calling me or checking on me or texting me about anything. You know, um, so I kind of just grew up with that mentality of like, I'm like, the outsider. I'm like the ugly duckling. I'm like, like the outcast. That's how I always saw myself. That's why around this time it was almost like a bit of a shock, like a little of a mind like a mind F, because it was like I was like had to like alternate or switch the way I was thinking about myself. Like, oh, this isn't right. I have to like treat myself like the way I guess I am. I'm like this. I'm not the hunchback. I'm the gypsy girl. People are finding me like this, not like this. So act more like that. Because yeah, around that time it was a bit confusing from 2020 to 2022, because I was really trying to figure out who I am and what I wanted from my life, and like how other I was trying to figure out how to like navigate like in the world as like as me, like how like I said, trying to figure out how people perceive me, how I perceive myself, try to get things accurate, like making sure that everything is like right. It was a lot of like like I said, of ups and downs and trying to figuring it out for me. So yeah. um Oh, yeah, and while I was doing all this stuff trying to figure me out, there was I also had to deal with a whole bunch of rumors. Like a lot of times, it wasn't until I spoke and people finally realized, oh wait, she's not dumb. She's actually really educated. It wasn't until people saw me volunteer, like to pick up trash like willingly, just cause, that people realized, oh, she's not. Oh yeah, that she's not. Yeah, sorry. I was looking at the notes. I forget, and I'm looking at it as like reference, because I get a bit nervous, and sometimes when I'm on camera, I just go empty. Like my main just all the thoughts in my head just kind of just go out. I'm like, what did I write, or what was I gonna say? So that's why I'm looking down at my notes. But yeah, it said it wasn't until people saw me picking up trash and donating to the homeless and hanging around nature and animals that people realized she's not evil at all. There's nothing evil about her. She's actually really sweet. It wasn't until people saw me, my strong work ethic and everything that I do, that they finally started to realize, maybe she actually worked hard for everything she has, and nothing was really handed to her. Yeah. By the time people usually figure out that, by the time people figure out that I'm not bougie, or, that I'm not stuck up, or I'm not like this girl with the silver spoon, but I'm just kind of like a shy, misunderstood, like down to earth girl, it's usually too late, because by the time they figure it out, I've either saw the true colors and I kind of, don't want to affiliate myself with them, or I'm usually gone. Like I literally leave, because God has me usually moving around from place to place. Like it's always funny, because as soon as people think they got me, like they got me pegged, they got me wherever they want me, God just shifts me to somewhere else, or makes me start doing something new, or takes me to a place where I guess they didn't think I was going. Mhm. Oh my gosh, I'm almost done. Yeah. Oh, a lot of times people will say like they don't like me. They don't like me for some reason. At least in the past they did. Or no, even currently, sometimes people don't like me. But when I ask them why, it's like none of them have a legitimate reason why they don't like me. Of course they don't have a reason, because I never do anything to anybody. I never do anything like I never like, picking on someone who's like, who I guess like people view as lesser than me. Like I don't pick on, the how can I say this? Like they don't pick on people. I'm not a bully. I don't like I'm not malicious. I don't carry ill intent towards people. I always helping people. I'm always like, trying to help push people to like be their best selves and like help them like, find, the best way for them to like, do whatever they want to do. Like how you gonna hate someone who's always trying to be a problem solver? How you gonna hate someone who's always like writing in a book or yeah, writing in her journal or reading a book or always being nice or always like, having something kind to say to people. Like at this point, if you don't like me, just say my light is triggering your demons. Just say my light is triggering you. And you're secretly in a competition with me. Because that's all you're giving me at this point. Is it's giving you're insecure. It's giving you're triggered by my light. My light is triggering your demons. It's giving like you're secretly in a competition with me and I don't even know who you are. Okay? That's why I said people are spinning these false narratives or not liking me or just I'm saying I'm not making it about myself because I said that's what this part is about. It's more so about me because that's life going to Aaliyah. That's why I started going into like my own history from 2019, 2020, 2021. I'm not sure I'm like very good at actually like letting you guys know like when it's about me because I thought I made it clear from like little switch from like the LGBTQ community as a whole to like now it's about my life. I hope like that's coming across clearly. I hope like you guys are understanding that. If not, well then I'm letting you know now. This part is all about me. But anyways, this leads me to my next point. I'm always someone's scapegoat. I'm always a sacrificial lamb. I'm always the one who always has to take the fall. I'm the fall guy. Like literally, there's been so many times where people like have blamed me for the bad stuff going on in their life. Like for example, like I told you guys before, the reason why me and my man aren't getting along is because of Aaliyah. It's like, girl, if you and your man aren't getting along, it's because there are underlying issues that's always been there, and it was there before I got there. It was there. Now that I'm here, I'm probably highlighting it, and even after I'm gone, it will still be there. So stop trying to make it seem like it's me. Or another thing people will say is like, the reason why I don't feel good about myself is because Aaliyah is casting spells on me. Girl, I am not. If I was casting any spells on anybody, don't you think I would have cast a spell on myself to make it rain thousands of dollars upon me? Billions, millions of dollars? Why would I cast a spell on you when I could be casting a bunch of spells on me? Okay? I would be casting a spell of getting a bigger place and having a lot more money if that was really the case. Like, girl, the way you are perceiving yourself, like I said, you acting like I'm competing with you. Like I told you before, it's giving you're secretly competing with me because girl, I'm not thinking about you. When I'm off here and doing my stuff, I'm not thinking about you. Or I'm not thinking about like, how I'm gonna get you back, sir, because you were mean to me. I'm letting that go and letting bygones be bygones. I said, you competing with me, then that's your own thing. Okay, I'm not competing with you. I'm competing with my own demons. I'm competing with the Aaliyah I was yesterday. I'm trying to, fight her and be the better Aaliyah. That is my goal. That's my mission. I'm not thinking about you. You don't hold that place in my life where I'm like, damn, I gotta, try to beat Jessica because she's just such an awesome person. Oh, she's all that. It's like that's not running through my mind. I'm not competing with you. I'm not competing with anyone. I can't. Like that's what I don't understand. Like some people like sometimes want to say like like people want to remind us like transgender people because I'm gonna translate it about how what I'm going through sometimes applies to a bigger group. It's like how some people be like transgenders like you're not women or whatever like that. It's like you never be like biological woman or whatever. It's like girl, we know we're not ever gonna be you. We're well aware of it. Even if we tried all day, we can never be a biological woman. It doesn't matter how many surgeries we get. It doesn't matter what we say. It doesn't matter what we do. We already know we're not going to be like you. We're aware of it. You're aware of it. We know it. You know it. So why are you trying to like rub that in? We get it. Even though I said me, I know people that said call me beautiful, I'm passable, blah 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 whatever. Girl, I'm not trying to be no one else. So like the way people sometimes make it out is like almost like they're trying to make it seem like I'm just like looking in the mirror and being like, I'm going to be Beyonce. I'm gonna make myself look like Beyonce. I'm gonna be Beyonce. I'm going to be Beyonce. Like, it's not like that. That's not what's going on. I could never, even as I literally just sat here all day, every day, trying to make myself be like, just Beyonce. Like, I know I said it as a joke in one of my videos, but I wasn't being serious about it. Even as a transgender, we literally went through all the process to be like a biological man. We still aren't going to be y'all. Even if we tried, we can't be you. Because the only person we can be is ourselves. And we know this. I'm not trying to be Beyonce. I'm not trying to be a Mariah Carey. I'm not trying to be a Nicki Minaj. I love all those girls, and I look up to all of them in different aspects of my life. But I'm not trying to be them. I could never be them. That's impossible. The only person I can be is me. That's the only person I want to be is me. I don't care how gorgeous they are. I don't want to be them. No shade to them. Because like I said, incredible women. But that's just how I think. Why would I want to be someone else? Starters, I can't. I wouldn't even know how to. I don't know what people go through behind closed doors. I'm not sure all the the work Beyonce puts into even being Beyonce or Nicki Minaj. I'm not sure what all the work she puts into to being Nicki Minaj or all the work Mariah Carey puts into being Mariah Carey. I don't know what these women go through. That's a lot of work though, because they make it look easy, but probably a lot of work they put into. I don't know. Yeah, the only person I can be is me. That's the person I want to be is me, because I'm awesome, and I think I'm better than all those girls. I am. And once again, it's not to agree with it, but that's just how I feel. Okay. Yes, I got 2 new videos to watch. All right. I don't know what else to say, so I'm gonna wrap it up by, I want to close it off on a good note. So I feel like this is more of a rant. Because I said I feel bad. I really do. I feel bad, but I just wanted to get this the tough topics off my chest. Let's just handle it. Let's just get the scary part over. Because I said that was just the only reason why I was even scared to even talk about this. Like I even wrote this out and wrote out things to say and took notes because for me it's scary speaking up because it's like I told you, us transgenders, us LGBTQ community people, we're already we're pretty much public enemy number one. People don't want to see us because they already have these preconceived negative thoughts that we're the problems that's going on, or we're say for transgender women specifically, women feel we're taking up their territory or whatever like that. Because women just in general are very territorial people, so it makes sense that they want to protect the things that they love. So it's I get it, but we're not here to try to trespass on anything that's you got going on. We're not here to stir up no problems. We're not here trying to create any beef with y'all. But I feel like these just needs to be addressed, and I just get scared because it's almost I always wonder, like I said, how are people going to perceive me? Because I said people already always have these preconceived notions of who I am. I'm this mean girl. I'm the bougie girl. Or I'm the the stupid girl. Or I'm the 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 over sexualized sex symbol. It's I'm none of these things. And it's I don't want to give anyone any ammunition to kind of spin up a story about me or paint me in a negative light or try to come for us transgender girls, because a lot of times we're just literally trying to live. I can only speak for myself specifically, but that's all I'm trying to do. I literally to the point where if I get love, I get love. But if I don't, I don't. And I really don't care if I get it or I don't anymore. Starting to get to a place where I really don't believe in that romantic sense of love. I'm big on self-love now. I feel I'm really starting to get self-love mastered because I've been working on myself and doing myself now, and I feel I'm really starting to really channel. I don't want something that's yours. I was I don't want your car. I don't want your job. I don't want nothing you got. I want something for me. I want my own guy. I want my own house. I want my own career. And sometimes I get scared because it's in this day and age, people can cancel you for any reason. People can make it seem like, like, oh, I'm out here, like, attacking, the biological women, and I'm over here, like, questioning the Bible and saying it's mumbo jumbo. And it's like, I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying, like, the Bible is fake. I'm not saying, like, like, I'm coming for biological women. That's not what I'm hoping you're getting out of this. To be honest, I just want to, like, rip the Band-Aid off and get, like, the most controversial topics out the way. That I believe in religion differently. I believe that we all need to have our own personal connection with God and talk to Him and pray with Him and actually build that connection so we can understand God for ourselves versus, like, having to, just go off of, like, oh, well, this is what my mom taught me. This is what society's telling me. So this is what's right. I don't like the fact that people just, like, will just be like, pick something up and just, like, not even, like, double check it for yourself. You don't even double check it. You just start treating it as if it's a fact because, well, my mom said this or my pastor said this. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes, like, but people will tell you it's right, but sometimes you have to learn how to separate the art from the artist. Take the message, but don't start, like, worshiping the person who's telling you certain things, because even though I said there's people who are hypocrites. They'll tell you one thing and then literally do the complete opposite. Not everyone is like that, but we all know people who are like that. That's why I'm saying, like, know God for yourself. Don't take things for face value, and not to judge people, because no one's better than the other. Whether you're white, you're black, you're man or female or non-binary or gay or, whatever. Just learn to love each other. That's the only thing we really should be focusing on, is just helping one another. Not trying to tear each other down because, oh, I see you're, getting to a certain point in your life before I am, and I don't want you doing better than me because, I'm competing with you. It's like, no, that's not how I think things should be. That's how I always try to uplift people. I always try to encourage people. I always try to, you know, never try to block people or, like, do things to, like, make myself feel better by tearing other people down. I think people like that are so ugly. That's why being beautiful on the outside. That's what I always wanted people. I said people are shallow because I said people do judge you off your looks, stuff like that. I was like, what's the point of you looking beautiful on the outside, but it's just like your soul is so ugly. That's one that I always like. That's one that's always mattered to me is forget the outside. Because a lot of people, like, they ask me, like, what's my type? Baby, I'm a demisexual and I'm a sapiosexual. You gotta stimulate my mind. That's the sapiosexual. Or you gotta have a connection with me. That's the demisexual in me. It's not a physical thing like, oh, you gotta be 6'2" and, make six figure, a year or whatever, and drive the new, like, a Mercedes Benz or the new Toyota. It's like, girl, I don't care how much money's in someone's bank. I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you're black, you're white, you're Asian. I'm not attracted to women, but I told someone if they ever thought about transitioning into a woman because someone said they were questioning it, I told them that if you transition into a woman, I would still love you, but I don't like women. Not sexually. Not sexually. I've never been sexually attracted to a woman. So I always tried to. I always wanted to because, like, that's what society told me is, like, I need to like that if, you are born a boy and, you need to like girls. And I tried, but I never could. I never had sex with a woman. I never wanted to have sex with a woman. I never been sexually attracted to a woman. And now that I'm older, I'm so grateful that I was like that. So my body was trying to tell me something that my mind wasn't comprehending at the time. But now I see, like I said, now it's making sense. Now a lot of things are lining up. Like, now it's like it's all coming together. But like I said, had I never been brave enough to try it out for myself, to get into spirituality and, take a bit more of an unconventional route towards actually doing certain things, I never would have figured it out. Hey, it's 5:55 right now, p.m. But had I never, like, tried God for myself and went the way everyone told me I should go, because, it was like the blind leading the blind, I would have still been miserable, sad, not knowing anything about myself, still wanting to kill myself. I feel just lost and sad and depressed. That was literally the road I was going on. Like, I literally wanted to kill myself because my life sucked. I had all the money. Like, my family is like, I had 2 good jobs. I was good in college. I could have went and got my degree, but I just didn't want to. Really, I was like one class off, and I just didn't want it. I could have got my degree. I had the newest car at the time. It was a 2017 red Chevy Spark back when it was 2017. I had good credit. I could get my own apartment. I had so much going for myself, but it was just like I told you, it was like all that money, all that material things. It just didn't make me happy. And I've always been that way. I don't want this material world. If I get it, I get it. Like it's nice. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know with having money. I used to think money is the root of all evil, but now I learned through spirituality with talking to God that money is just a tool. There's nothing wrong with using money as a tool to achieve your goals. Now, what's the problem is that people who are in control of the money, it's the people. I said their perception of money. Some people treat money like it's God when it's not. Some people put money above everything. Some people use money to hurt people. But money itself is not the problem. It's like money can be used for good to build shelters and feed the mouths of homeless people and actually make a change to give someone a limb when it's been cut off. It can do a lot of good, but it also can do bad. But the main factor is who has it. It's like how I described it to one person. Money isn't bad. It's just a tool. It's like a hammer. If someone threw the hammer at you, you're gonna get mad at the hammer for being thrown, or are you gonna get mad at the person who threw the hammer at you? He's like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense. And that's what I said with the money. If someone uses the money to buy a hitman to kill you, you're gonna get mad at the money? Or that's an extreme thing. It's like if someone uses money to hurt you, are you gonna get mad at the money for being used to hurt you, or are you going to get mad at the person for using the money in a negative way? Anything can be good or bad. That's where free will comes into play. That's where making choices and decisions really make the difference. Like me finally starting life according to Aaliyah, and I'm really glad there's no one watching this because if there was, I'd probably been too scared to continue. Especially, I said there was that little hiccup with the other one. I said, how is it that my laptop died? It was halfway charged. It was it was half full. The battery was half full and it died in 5 minutes. I was like, how? Since when has my laptop ever died that quickly at half full battery life? I said, that is Satan right there. He really does not want me to get this out. But honey, I'm so proud of myself because I actually did it. I worked past my fears. I talked about some of the scary things I was scared to talk about, like, how people sometimes perceive LGBTQ people, LGBTQAI plus people. And I said, not everyone does. As I said, not everyone is transphobic or homophobic or stuff like that, but there are people like that. There are people who do want us gone. There are people who perpetuate a cycle of hate because of a preconceived notion or an old mindset that's not even working anymore. It's not working. The cycle of hate, it isn't helping anyone. All this is hurting a bunch of people. You're hurting people because of the fact that you're not happy with your own life and you don't want to see no one else happy. Excuse me. And that's why I said sometimes people actually create these false narratives about us. Not all of us, guys, I'm not gonna lie. Some of us transgender people really are. They are just the worst. But that's not all of us. Like always, there's gonna be extremists. There are some transgenders that people always like to put on the news or give them a big platform. And they're the ones talking about all these negative things. People like, okay, so that's what all of them think. It's like, no, she does not speak for all of us. Okay, not all of us are thinking like that. As I was saying, Donald Trump, the way Donald Trump speaks for all white people, or like Azalea Banks speaks for all black women. Those are extremists. Those aren't people who you would be like, okay, well she speaks for all of us black girls, or Donald Trump speaks for all of us white rich guys. It's like not all of them are like that. And that's what it is for us transgenders. That one that you're seeing, that is not how all of us are. Yeah, the best example of us, I feel like of a celebrity transgender would probably be Laverne Cox. She kind of just does her own thing, minds her business, just gets her money, collects her checks, and she's moving on. You don't ever hear about her doing nothing crazy, nothing bad. That's a good example of like, I feel like what a transgender woman, typically a normal one, really is. They just do their stuff. They don't cause a problem. They're not here to get no drama. They're not here to get attention. They're not wiling out. Not here, like, to cause problem with women, because women already don't want us here. They were kind enough to, like, help us get here with, like I said, artists like Beyonce, like Janet Jackson, like Mariah Carey, like Nicki Minaj, name a few. Lady Gaga, Madonna, we know. The biological woman was the ones who let us in here. Now, let's show them the gratitude. Not literally saying let's just kiss the ground they walk on, but literally, like, that's why we support y'all. So we buy some of your certain things from y'all, like your CDs or your albums or your perfumes or, your clothing. That's us saying we support you. We thank you. Because you don't have to. We're well aware you don't have to. But we thank you because you do. That's why we do support you. That's why we're saying that we love you. And we appreciate you sticking your neck out for us. Just thank you. And I just really hope we all can love each other and just come to agreement to just let everyone just be who they want to be. Without the fear of being judged for you being yourself. Anyways, I love you guys so much. This is the end of the video. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please push my channel out to a bigger audience. Y'all know I love all that stuff. Yeah. We're going to close off with 3 positive affirmations that I'm going to say to myself, but also to you guys aloud. You guys can do anything you put your mind to. Okay? So don't second guess yourself. Don't give in to fear. You guys are so much stronger than any fear that you have. You can overcome any trials, any obstacles, any adversity, any fear. Nothing can stop you but you. All you have to do is believe. Never give up on your dreams. Know that you are able to accomplish them and that you are worthy of having your desires met. Whether it be in love, whether it be in money, a job, a career, a lifestyle, you're worthy of it. So don't settle for less when you deserve nothing less than the best. And don't be afraid to be your weird and quirky, unusual self like me. This is like a big risk. I'm sticking my neck out here and just starting my channel. And but I'm doing it. I'm being brave, facing my fears. So I always like to practice what I preach. Oh, FYI, my hair's not done yet. Puff, puff. Yeah, some of that I also want to practice is practice what I preach. And a lot of times, I always tell black people, don't be afraid, to show your natural hair, whatever. Yeah, because obviously this hair isn't my hair. You can really see my natural hair popping through the braids, and you can see right here, it's not done, but it almost is. But yeah, don't be afraid to rock your natural hair. Okay. Look at my cute little puffs. They're not done, but I also wanted to show that I'm trying to be brave and show you guys the vulnerable side of me, because that's what I like to be is I don't want to try to hide or lie or try to fake things. That's not me. I don't even know how to do it. I'm an awful liar. But this is me. This is Aaliyah. I have problems sometimes getting my hair done. I face trials I'm going through my life, and I'm actually sitting down to tell you guys about it. And like I said, I'm not trying to rant. This isn't a rant of my life is awful. Have pity for me. Da, 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 da. That isn't what this is about. I guess this video is more so just about addressing some of the big topics that I feel like need to be talked about, in the world. And I don't know. I always feel like for some reason this channel, and my other channel are going to be, I don't know, bigger than what they are now. In the future, I want to look back and somehow be like, man, I can't believe I started that. Like, I can't believe, like, I actually did that. And, like, I'll look back, like, it was where I started and see where I'm at now. And it's like, I'll be grateful because it's like, I'll be able to see the difference I made, all the lives I helped. And, I don't know, it's almost like I have a purpose that's bigger than me. That's what I feel like this is. This is like almost like my way of giving back. Like I play a bigger role in the wheel of destiny and stuff. I don't know. That's how I always feel though. Like I have like this bigger purpose, or whatever. I'm not sure if it's true. I'm not saying nothing like I'm like God or anything, but it's like it just feels that way sometimes. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Okay. Don't stop believing in yourself. Don't stop believing in your dreams. Be bold. Be fearless. You got this. I love you. Fly high, butterflies.